These are the 3 Japanese movements that keep men strong and pain-free after 50. At 87 years old, the average Japanese woman is still alive and mobile. The average American woman? She died 6 years ago. Here's what nobody tells you. Those extra years aren't spent in wheelchairs, they're doing movements that actually reverse aging. One samurai technique increases knee strength by 25.9% in just 12 weeks. Japan's 99,000 centenarians aren't lucky. They're using 3 daily movements we've never heard of, while we accept that getting weaker is just part of aging. After 50, muscle loss accelerates by 1 to 2% every year. Joint stiffness becomes your morning reality. Most Americans think this decline is unstoppable. That's why we have a 40% obesity rate and can barely walk a quarter mile by age 60. But in Japan, with their 4% obesity rate and nearly 100,000 people over 100, they approach aging completely differently. They use movement as medicine, practicing ancient techniques that modern science is just now validating. Today, you'll discover 3 Japanese movements that require no gym, no equipment, just your body and 4 to 5 minutes daily. The first builds foundational leg power that keeps you stable. The second was literally used by samurai warriors and just proved to reverse age-related weakness by 25.9%. And the third tests whether you'll maintain real-world independence or end up needing help. These aren't mystical practices or cultural quirks. They're practical movements backed by research from Tohoku University and used by people who stay active into their 80s, 90s, and beyond. Exercise 1. Shiko. Let's start with Shiko, the ancient sumo squat modernized for lifelong leg power and balance. The Shiko isn't just something sumo wrestlers do for show. Japanese elders use a gentler version daily to maintain the exact muscles that determine whether you'll need a walker or walk confidently after 70. Here's what most people don't understand. Regular squats work your quads and glutes, but they miss your inner thighs and hip stabilizers, the forgotten muscles that actually prevent falls. When these weaken, every step becomes uncertain, every curb becomes a challenge, and getting up from a low chair becomes impossible. And here's proof of how foundational this movement is. At sumo demonstration events worldwide, from Tokyo's cultural centers to Phoenix's Japanese friendship gardens, audience members are regularly invited to try their hand at the Shiko. When retired sumo wrestlers demonstrate this ancient movement, crowds join in shouting "Yoisho" as feet hit the ground. It's so essential to Japanese culture that they teach it to tourists as the gateway into understanding real strength. These aren't just cultural shows, they're passing down a movement that's kept Japanese people mobile for centuries. What tourists try for fun, Japanese elders practice daily for independence. Stand with feet wider than shoulders, toes turned out 45 degrees. Keep your chest proud like you're taking a power stance, not just sitting down. Lower slowly for 3 seconds, pause for 1 second at the bottom, then drive through your heels back up. The key is control, no bouncing, no momentum. Start with 10 to 12 repetitions, rest 30 seconds, repeat 2 to 3 times. If balance is challenging, hold a chair back for light support. There's no shame in being safe. Can't go deep? Go halfway, your range will improve. If you're stronger, you can also add a 2-second pause at the bottom or the traditional foot stomp that challenges balance even more. Keep knees tracking over toes, never let them cave inward. If you feel sharp joint pain, stop immediately. Muscle burn is good, but joint pain is not. The Shiko teaches your body to stay rooted and powerful, exactly what we lose first, but need most. But while Shiko builds your foundation, this next movement actually reverses what doctors call inevitable decline. Exercise 2. Reiho. This is the movement that should be headline news. Reiho is traditional samurai etiquette, the formal way warriors would lower and raise themselves to show respect. They had no idea they were creating perfect strength training. In 2025, scientists at Tohoku University studied elderly Japanese practicing Reiho. The results? A 25.9% increase in knee extension strength in just 12 weeks. Let me be clear, that's not maintaining strength, that's reversing aging. People in their 70s getting stronger, not weaker. The slow, controlled movement creates time under tension, the gold standard for building strength. But unlike weights that stress joints, you're using perfect biomechanics with your own body weight. It's strength training disguised as tradition. Start by standing tall. Slowly lower into a kneeling position, taking 3 to 4 seconds. Imagine you're demonstrating perfect control to show respect. Pause briefly at the bottom, feeling the load in your thighs. Then take 3 to 4 seconds to rise back up. No hands, no momentum, just pure controlled power. Here's what research shows. Do 20 to 22 repetitions once daily, 4 days per week, so you can rest in between the days. That's it. That's 5 minutes that literally reverse aging in your knees. What if you can't go all the way down? Use a low stool or chair as your target. Lower until you lightly touch, then back up. Do you need support? Lightly touch a chair back for balance only. And if you're ready for more challenge, slow it to 5 seconds down, 5 seconds up. Every rep is building strength you thought was gone forever. The burn you feel isn't breakdown, it's reconstruction. But strength without function is meaningless, which brings us to the ultimate test. Exercise 3. Seiza to standing. Seiza is traditional Japanese floor sitting, kneeling with legs folded beneath you. But the transition from Seiza to standing? That's the test that predicts your future. Here's the harsh truth. If you can't get up from the floor at 60, you probably won't be living independently at 80. This movement tests everything: leg strength, hip mobility, balance, coordination, and, most importantly, confidence in your own body. And here's what proves how challenging this really is. At tea ceremony demonstrations worldwide, from Kyoto's traditional tea houses to New York's Japan Society, instructors regularly offer chairs as alternatives. They say while we encourage traditional sitting, chairs are available for your comfort. Even in Japan, modern tea ceremonies provide low chairs with backrest for elderly visitors, because organizers understand that Seiza has become difficult for many people. The cultural adaptation isn't defeat. It's recognition that the transition from Seiza to standing has become a lost skill. What was once as natural as breathing now requires specific training to regain. This goes beyond just exercise. Can you still play with grandchildren on the floor? Are you able to work on your garden without fear? How about recovery from a fall? This movement trains the exact pattern that keeps you independent. To do this movement, kneel on a cushioned surface and sit back on your heels. Place one foot flat in front of you with your shins straight up like a lunge position. The key part is leaning forward to put weight on that front leg, then push through your heel to stand up smoothly. Don't twist or use your hands, just controlled leg power. Stand up straight, then pause to make sure you're balanced. Then lower back down with the same control. Switch legs each time so both sides get stronger. Start with 5 controlled reps per leg and rest between sides. Over a few weeks, work up to 2 or 3 sets. Good form matters more than doing lots of reps. If you need changes, put a cushion under your knees for comfort. Can't kneel all the way? Start from a low chair instead. Need balance help? Touch a chair back lightly, but try to use it less over time. The goal is getting better, not being perfect right away. Every time you do this right, you trust your body more. That confidence shows up everywhere: walking on bumpy ground, going upstairs without holding the rail, living without worrying about falling. Bonus section, Reiho Taiso. Here's what ties everything together: Japan's national morning exercise broadcast since 1928. While we focused on strength, Reiho Taiso provides the mobility that makes everything else possible. Every morning at 6:30 a.m., millions of Japanese, especially seniors, perform this 3-minute routine in parks, offices, and homes. It's not exercise, it's a daily system reset. Reiho Taiso was specifically designed for everyone, from school children to office workers to elderly grandparents. The movements are gentle enough for any age or fitness level, yet effective enough to mobilize your entire body, Morning stiffness isn't just uncomfortable, it changes how you move all day. Stiff joints lead to shortened steps, reduced reach, and gradual activity avoidance. Reiho Taiso reverses this in 3 minutes. The essential sequence includes 13 movements such as wide arm circles to open shoulders and chest, torso twists to mobilize your spine, side bends to maintain waist flexibility, knee lifts to activate hip flexors, heel raises for ankle mobility, and gentle bouncing to stimulate circulation. Move continuously, rhythmically, like a gentle dance. No forcing, no straining, just smooth movement that gradually increases range. Some report that within just one try, they've noticed easier movement throughout your entire day. We have the complete Reiho Taiso follow-along video right here on this channel, so you can practice with traditional Japanese timing and music. And it's designed for everyone, regardless of age, so it's perfect for people over 50. Links are in the description below. You now have the complete Japanese longevity system. Shiko for foundational power, Reiho for scientifically proven strength reversal, Seiza to standing for real-world independence, plus Reiho Taiso for daily mobility. These aren't just exercises, they're the practices of 99,000 Japanese centenarians who refuse to accept that aging means decline. While Americans have a 40% obesity rate and struggle with basic mobility by 60, Japanese elders with their 4% obesity rate are proving that strength and independence aren't lost with age. They're abandoned by choice. The 25.9% strength increase from Reiho isn't a miracle. It's what happens when you move with intention instead of accepting limitation. Those 6 extra years Japanese women live compared to Americans, they're not spent in care facilities. They're spent walking, gardening, and living independently. Your future mobility is being determined by what you do today. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Here's my question. Which of these movements seems most challenging for you right now? Because that's exactly where you should start. The movement that challenges you most is the one that will transform you most. Drop a comment below telling me which movement you're starting with tomorrow morning. I read every comment, and I'll personally suggest modifications to help you succeed. If this opened your eyes to what's actually possible after 50, hit the subscribe button and notification bell. We're building a community that refuses to accept decline as inevitable. Share this with someone who needs to hear that getting stronger with age isn't just possible, it's proven. Remember, Japan's 99,000 centenarians aren't special. They just move differently. Starting tomorrow, so can you.